Now, when the human body is constantly being exposed to all of these environmental pollutants, the toxins can accumulate over time and lead to a large range of adverse health effects. Chronic exposure can disrupt hormonal imbalance, it can weaken the immune system, and impair organ function. Common symptoms include fatigue, headache, digestive issues, skin problems. Long-term exposure of high levels of toxins has been linked to serious conditions like cancer, neurological disorders, and cardiovascular diseases. So understanding and minimizing toxic exposure is crucial for maintaining overall health and well-being. So take your health seriously, guys. This is important. Namaste and welcome to Healing Her Spirit, a podcast dedicated to guiding the divine feminine on a journey of profound growth and self-discovery. This is a sanctuary for those seeking to heal their mind, body, and spirit from the wounds of the past and explore the powerful connection between spirituality and healing. Hosted by myself, Shelley, a spiritual wellness coach, we delve into the sacred process of overcoming trauma and nurturing the divine feminine energy within us all, regardless of gender. In each episode, I dive deep into the journey of growing through trauma, offering a blend of expert interviews, personal stories of resilience, and practical spiritual practices that empower you to rise above past wounds and begin creating the life of your dreams. Learn how to calm your nervous system, move beyond trauma responses, and embrace a life of peace and empowerment. Join us as we uncover the strength, wisdom, and beauty inherent in every soul, creating a supportive community of individuals committed to personal and collective evolution and transforming trauma into triumph. Let's take a couple of deep breaths, relax your body, and let's fall into this episode. Namaste and welcome back to Healing Her Spirit with myself, Shelley. Today I am feeling called to talk about detoxing. So detoxing is very important in today's day and age because we are overburdened. Our bodies are overburdened by the amount of toxins that are in our environment. We're talking pesticides on our fruits and vegetables, heavy metals in air, anti-nutrients in the fruits and vegetables, even processed foods, the preservatives in foods. There's arsenic, lead, and formaldehyde found in food. Sugars are also super not good for us. There's food dyes that have been linked to behavioral issues in children. There's molds in foods and in homes. Chemicals in our cleaning products and our laundry detergent. Our clothing is toxic for us. Mercury from dental procedures, fluoride in the toothpaste and in our water. There's also chemicals in our makeup and toxic chemicals in our hygiene products. Toxins are so prevalent in our environment that you will see notices on fast food restaurants warning chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer or birth defects. Also in businesses, the office that I used to work at had a sign clearly posted due to the electronics that are found in an office atmosphere. And then of course we're also having to deal with parasites, which is becoming a mainstream thing that a lot of people are starting to become aware of. Now, when the human body is constantly being exposed to all of these environmental pollutants, the toxins can accumulate over time and lead to a large range of adverse health effects. Chronic exposure can disrupt hormonal imbalance, it can weaken the immune system, and impair organ function. Common symptoms include fatigue, headache, digestive issues, skin problems. Long-term exposure of high levels of toxins has been linked to serious conditions like cancer, neurological disorders, and cardiovascular diseases. So understanding and minimizing toxic exposure is crucial for maintaining overall health and well-being. So take your health seriously, guys. This is important. So I want to double back with sugar, okay? Because there's so much that is in our food today that if we are introducing sugar into our bodies, it's just not a good chemical for us. There are alternatives to using sugar. So sugar can lead to obesity, which can lead to insulin resistance and inflammation. Too much sugar in the blood is considered diabetes. Sugar in adults' brain can lead to dementia and Alzheimer's. In a baby's brain, it could present as ADHD. In the eyes, it's glaucoma. In the teeth, it can lead to cavities, interruption in sleep, which is insomnia. Excessive sugar in your body can cause cancer. It can cause premature aging, like fine lines and sagging. Sugar in the liver is considered fatty liver. Sugar in the thyroid is hyperthyroidism, and it also can be linked to parasites. Sugar is what parasites eat. Not to mention that it is a highly addictive substance, 10 times more addictive than heroin. So one of the alternatives that I use is monk fruit. You do have to be careful with it, though, to make sure that it does not have erythritol, which is a sugar product. It is actually a sugar alcohol that's been linked to heart attacks, strokes, and even death. So you can get monk fruit sugar substitute without having erythritol. You can find it on Amazon. And using monk fruit instead of cane sugar offers many benefits. It's actually a natural zero caloric sweetener, which is derived from the monk fruit, which has a lot of health benefits to it. Parasites, again, feed on sugars. So we do need to do some type of parasite cleanse or sugar cleanse to help get rid of the parasites. There are many ways to do cleanses. I'm going to go over some more of the toxins, though. The heavy metals that I was referring to earlier, it's in our air as well as chemicals that are used on our foods and in our water. And parasites use heavy metals to disable and hide from our immune system. Parasites can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is why it can cause Alzheimer's and dementia. If you're going to do a heavy metal detox, micronized zeolite is the only binder that I've found that works for heavy metals. So if you do end up doing some type of detox, once you're done with this podcast, keep that in mind. So the reason that I got into learning about the things that were toxic to me is because I was feeling like crap. Honestly, I would wake up every morning, and I'm 47. I would wake up every morning with absolute pain everywhere. Just my hips, my knees, my feet, everything hurt. So I went to go look for a doctor, and I found one online. They sent me a kit to test for inflammation. And when I did the test and had the results read by the gal I spoke with from the doctors, I found that I had massive inflammation. Now, I know that I said in one of my previous podcasts, I handled everything holistically for my entire life. And I do think that that is absolutely the way that people should go. However, I found that with the inflammation, a lot of the things that I was introducing to my body were either interacting wrong with each other, or it was just not working very well for my particular body. Like, for instance, I was taking turmeric with black pepper every day. I was taking a shot of olive oil with lemon juice and ginger and cayenne pepper for liver detox. I was doing all of these different things for my body, and I'm pretty sure I just kind of overloaded my body with all of these things. So while yes, they are helpful, I do think that everyone's body is different and everyone's reactions are different, and that we are supposed to be using those things to help us on the short term, not for the long term. So I started looking at the things that I was doing, the things that were in my environment. And I found that once I took all of the plant matter out of my diet, my body started feeling so much better. My inflammation went down. I was able to actually have a clear brain. In the mornings when I was waking up, I had to fight those negative thoughts in my head that told me that I was a shitty person. And once I took the plant matter out, the foggy brain went away, the memory issues all went away. All of it went away when I took the plant matter and the sugar out. I did the carnivore detox and my body felt amazing. I'm not suggesting you guys do the carnivore detox. I have done my fair share of research to figure out if it was something that would work for me. I also suggest if you're going to do a detox that you maybe talk to your doctor too. I don't have one, so I didn't, but I believe you should. I'm not a medical professional. I am just giving you a suggestion so you can decide if it is best for you. You and your doctor can decide if it's best for you. So I found that there are something called anti-nutrients in fruits and vegetables. So the anti-nutrients are natural or synthetic compounds that are found in a variety of plants. They help the plant to repel the insects, and while in lower doses, don't really pose a threat to humans, but once they build up, they can start beginning to create havoc. Some of us are more sensitive to the effects of these anti-nutrients. These foods interfere with the absorption of vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients, just like the name suggests. One of the most popular that you've probably heard of is gluten. That is an anti-nutrient. They block digestive enzymes, which are key in proper digestion and absorption. And I know an argument for carnivore is that animals eat plant matter. There are animals that have more than one stomach. They have the ability to break down these enzymes in their stomach and to allow the anti-nutrients to break down in their body for proper digestion. But humans don't have this enzyme, which is why one of the most common symptoms of eating too much of these anti-nutrients is leaky gut. And this is where toxins leak into our bloodstream. So there are ways to mitigate anti-nutrients. One of the ways is by soaking or cooking the foods. An example of this, for instance, is raw kidney beans. If you Google raw kidney beans, it tells you that they are toxic for humans. So the amount of lectins in raw kidney beans is 80,000 to 100,000 HAU. When they're cooked, it's less than 400. So the way that the food is prepared will make a difference if you find that you are sensitive to one of these things. So the anti-nutrients that I'm talking about, there's phytates, oxalates, lectins, tannins, sapopins, and goitrogens. Some are worse than others, and some of us are more allergic to others, susceptible to symptoms. So phytates can cause mineral deficiencies like fibromyalgia and osteoporosis. Phytates decrease the absorption of iron, zinc, chromium, magnesium, and calcium. Generally, the more phytic acid that you eat, the more minerals are blocked from your body. The highest concentration of phytic acids are found in raw and unprocessed plant-based foods. They do, however, offer antioxidants and have the potential to help fight cancer. So they're not all bad. But if you are allergic or sensitive to, and if you're not cooking them properly or handling them properly, you could be having an adverse effect. So here are some of the foods that are high in phytates. Whole grains such as wheat, oats, rice, and corn. Grains contain a phytic acid in the bran, which is removed during the processing. So phytates rapidly accumulate in seeds when a plant is ripening. So nuts, almonds, walnuts, peanuts, cashews, hazelnuts naturally contain a high amount of phytic acid. Also legumes, seeds like sesame seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, and flax seeds are high in phytates. Potatoes, turnips, beets, carrots, soy, and pinto beans. Kidney beans and navy beans have double the amount of phytates found than other legumes. Again, the processing helps destroy the phytates. But like sprouting, cooking, baking, processing, soaking, and fermenting. So people who regularly consume high amounts of phytic acid, such as vegetarians or vegans, can benefit from eating mineral absorbing enhancers like garlic and onions. These foods increase the absorption of minerals like iron and zinc. So keep this in mind if you're having any symptoms that I had said earlier. Now there's also oxalates, and oxalates can cause kidney stones, fibromyalgia, thyroid conditions, headaches, urinary pain, muscle pain, mood conditions like anxiety and depression, sleep problems, inflamed joints, skin issues, and brain fog. You could see how my issues were oxalates. So herbs and foods that are high in oxalates are cinnamon, turmeric, black pepper, cumin, fennel, allspice. spinach and other leafy greens such as beets, greens, and rhubarb, soy products such as tofu, soy milk, and soybeans, almonds and other nuts, potatoes and other starchy vegetables, beets and other root vegetables, navy beans and other legumes, raspberries and other berries, dates and other dried fruits. Because oxalates are water soluble, they can be reduced by blanching, boiling, or steaming with the liquid discarded. Fermentation and sprouting also reduces oxalates, and cooking in milk or macerating in whey can also mitigate oxalate exposure. Next is lectins. They can cause bloating, gas, leaky gut, IBS, malnutrition, arthritis, autoimmune disorders, and a few can even cause poisoning. Foods and herbs that are high in lectins are eggplant, potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, soy products such as tofu, soy milk and soybeans, lentils, cashews, peanuts, wheat, peas, and chickpeas. Raw castor oil bean and raw kidney beans, again, highly poisonous. Also, there's paprika, chili pepper, nutmeg, cayenne pepper, chili powder, and curry powder. It's important to note that lectins are not necessarily harmful to everyone and can be beneficial for some people. If you're concerned about lectins in your diet, you may want to consider consulting with a registered dietitian or nutritionalist to determine the best course of action for your individual needs. These foods are high in lectins, but are still said to be nutritious to us regardless. Celery root, blueberries, yucca, kiwis, blackberries, raspberries, persimmons, green bananas, white mulberries, watermelon, jackfruit, lime, peaches, and grapes. All right, and then we're going to talk about tannins and saponins. Too many tannins can cause decreased absorption of iron, which can cause anemia, osteoporosis, and cancer. Can also cause nausea, stomach irritation, heartburn, headaches, anxiety, liver damage, stress, and poor sleep. Foods that are high in tannins: coffee, black tea, red wine, and dark chocolate. Other foods that are high in tannins include cranberries, cocoa, berries, barley, rhubarb, nuts, squash, and legumes such as beans and chickpeas. One way to mitigate the amount of lectins is to subject the food to heat by roasting, slow cooking, pressure cooking, or baking. Another way is by soaking the food before cooking it and peeling certain foods like grapes. Too many saponins can cause increased intestinal permeability, disrupting fat metabolism, cleaving cholesterol, affecting endocrine function, and killing cells. Foods that are high in saponins are beans, chickpeas, peanuts, quinoa, and soy. Saponins exist in nightshade vegetables like tomatoes and potatoes. So the amount of saponins can be mitigated by, again, cooking, soaking, and blanching. Remember to throw the water out when you're done cooking them. So if you do choose to do a detox to get these environmental toxins out of your body, I will go over a couple of different detox options, but cautionary here. When you're doing a detox, you must prepare your body before doing it, any type of detox, because what's going to happen is once you start detoxing your body, you can have Herxheimer symptoms, which are flu-like symptoms that can last for 2 or 3 weeks. When a friend of mine did carnivore, her and her husband had 2 weeks where they felt like crapola. I did carnivore and I had prepared my body before and during the detox, and I had none, absolutely no detox symptoms at all. So a couple of things that you can do to prepare your body and make sure that you're not going to get those symptoms is, one, need to make sure that you're sweating every day. Either exercise or go in a sauna, steam room, something's going to make you sweat, okay? Also, do lymphatic massage or do something to help the lymphatic system out. Key note about our lymphatic system: it is, first of all, the thing that detoxes our body. It is the system that gets the toxins out of our body. It puts it into our bloodstream, and then our blood does its job and washes it through our body, runs it through the rest of our body to get out of our body. The lymphatic system does not have an autonomic system. It doesn't automatically do this. We have to manually do something to help it to drain. So again, the sweating, doing a lymphatic massage. You can do a dry massage. I use a sud scrub brush for my shower. I don't know if you know what that is, but it has been a instrumental part of my journey. I use the shower as my cleansing process, and the sud scrub brush allows me to touch every single part of my body to help it heal. I will link a description of the product in the notes section of this video. So also your diet, cut out sugar. Rebounding is also another good way to get lymph moving through the lymphatic system. Rebounding is jumping up and down. You can either do it on a trampoline, or myself, I do it while I'm in the shower. I just jump up and down. I count to 50 or 100, depending on how I'm feeling. If I've had a crappy day of food the day before, ate sugar, or if I had a drink, an alcoholic beverage, I will do twice as much rebounding so that I make sure and get all the toxins out of my body. So also a coffee enema will help you to detox. Smooth move tea, magnesium citrate, and also a saltwater flush. Also cold water at the end of your shower. Do this. I know it sounds torturous, but it is absolutely not. For the first couple days, it will be, for sure. But if you do it with thinking that you are doing this for your body, it's such an ultimate testament of showing your body so much love. Huge change in my skin, huge change in my body once I started doing the cold water plunges. I actually do them after a sauna. I will do 20 minutes in the sauna and then do the cold water plunge in the shower just after it. It feels so good. You will notice a change in your skin right away. Also, drink lots of water. Half of our body weight is what is suggested to make sure that we are hydrated properly for our weight. Half of our body weight, okay? Super important. And again, talk to your water. There was a study done by Dr. Masaru Emoto where he spoke to water and looked at it under a microscope before he spoke to it and after, and the molecular structure of the water actually changed. So talk to your water, talk out loud, because sometimes those thoughts in our brain can be a little negative at times. And if we're actually vocalizing it, it helps us to retrain our brain at the same time. Okay. You may also want to do some type of a colon cleanse when you're doing it, when you're preparing your body for a detox. Add electrolytes to your daily routine. Make sure you're doing this. Celtic sea salt, Baja Gold, or Redmond sea salt are the ones that I've used. Putting granules under your tongue for 30 seconds before you drink water is an absolute must-have for your cells in your body to absorb the water properly. Add in a magnesium spray for your body. The magnesium spray, you can put it at the bottom of your feet. I spray it on my stomach at times, just depending on what it is I want to do. There is a high content of magnesium in Baja Gold, Celtic sea salt, and Redmond sea salts. Another way to prepare your body for a detox is using probiotics. This helps with the gut health, and it helps to replenish the vitamins and minerals that aid in digestion. When you're doing a detox, you must use a binder. Make sure that you are using something like activated charcoal, bentonite clay, micronized zeolite powder, or diatomaceous earth. Oh, and folic acid. Those are all binding agents. So when you're doing the detox and you have the binding agent in your system at the time you're doing the detox, those toxins will glam on that binder and flush it out of your system. Side note, do not detox if you are pregnant or nursing. Do not, okay? It's a no-no. And always consult with your physician. A couple of different ways that you can detox, the ones that I've used. There are some over-the-counter options that are for heavy metals, parasites, and molds. Cell Core Foundation, which is a 4-month protocol, BPX Zeolite Pack, Heirloom Protocol 1, and Parify Cleanse Kit from Rogers Hood. They're all different, so follow the suggested directions, okay? You can also do detox baths or foot soaks. When doing a detox bath, you can use various things together and you can use them in different amounts. So I will give you those here in just a second. You can use bentonite clay, borax, apple cider vinegar with the mother. The mother is where all the minerals are. You can use magnesium flakes, castor oil. If you're going to do castor oil, it can hurt plumbing because it is such a thick oil. So make sure you're only using a very small amount. It also makes your hair greasy too, so keep that in mind. You can do a fulvic soak, use baking soda, and Celtic sea salt, Epsom salts, Baja Gold, any kind of salt. Okay, there's tons of minerals in sea salts. Stay away from Himalayan sea salt, though. That is no bueno. It has been compromised in too many ways, shapes, and forms as of date. So 30 minutes is the suggested amount of time that you should spend in a detox bath. I, however, have done them for 2 to 3 hours. That is what I do. And it is suggested to do it 2 to 3 times a week for at least a month or until you're feeling better, and then lower it to at least once a week for maintenance. Now for the amounts, for castor oil, you're looking at putting about a half a capful in. Don't do a full cap, you will feel greasy. Bentonite clay and baking soda, you can go for about a cup. Borax, sea salt, magnesium flakes, I would do about a half a cup. And then of course you can always add herbs like chamomile, lavender, lemon balm, or even hops to it just for calming effects. Detoxing from anti-nutrients and sugars. The way that I've done this is through carnivore. With the carnivore detox, if that is the way that you want to go, the way to go about carnivore is you're going to eat fatty meats. Beef and pork are the main ones. You can eat chicken, but it doesn't have a huge fat content, so you want higher fat meats. Eggs, butter, real butter, no margarine. It's got to be like Kerrygold butter made from real dairy, okay? You can also have some dairy if your body can handle it. And then also salt. And again, we're looking at using those beautiful sea salts. So Celtic sea salt, Baja Gold, or Redmond's. Okay, I've done so much research on the carnivore. Here's what I've found. People had told me when I was going through it, it makes the cholesterol levels go up. Well, yes, it can. The research that I found is that there are different types of cholesterol levels that are measured, and the one that indicates a harmful level can actually go down. What about too much protein on the kidneys? So there is a doctor, Dr. Kiltz, that has been doing carnivore for many, many years. He says that there is no medical evidence that protein is bad for the kidneys. He actually states that carnivore has helped to improve kidney health. Another question that I got was, am I getting all the nutrients that I need from the carnivore detox? Without introducing all the chemicals like pesticides and all the plant matter that's blocking the nutrients from entering your cells, we're actually getting better nutrients from this detox. But as a woman, we do need more iodine for our reproductive organs, so iodine supplements may be needed. They are in the form of drops. Magnesium is also very important, so we're going to stay with that Baja Gold, Celtic, or Redmond salt, okay? And then I was asked also if you can gain weight on it, and no, in fact, people do actually seem to lose weight and heal any kind of metabolic problems. If you have a slow metabolism, it seems to kind of speed it up, just depending on how you treat your body when you reintroduce other foods, okay? So the things that improved for me during the carnivore, my hair stopped falling out in chunks and began to grow back in. My joint pain was nearly gone. I would get up in the morning pain-free. My arthritis got dramatically better. I finally was able to open a water bottle. Pain during intercourse was gone. The brain fog diminished. Depression and anxiety greatly diminished. I had a problem with athlete's foot. That went away. Boils. I get boils every once in a while. That did not happen for quite a while after I was on that detox. My skin felt amazing. I lost 17 pounds and I was more motivated to do things. And actually, really weird thing here, but my vision got better. It was amazing. It is suggested to do an elimination diet for between 30 to 90 days, then slowly add in other plant foods to see how your body reacts to them. Again, do small amounts and make sure that if you are adding those in, that they're not going to be something that is going to affect you in the long run, and also that you're cooking them properly or preparing them properly. Another detox method is intermittent fasting. So I'm not sure how much information you have learned about intermittent fasting because it has seemed to become a little bit more mainstream lately, but women should do it around their cycle, and every body is different, just as with any kind of change in diet. But after 12 hours of fasting, food that you would consume previously has already been burned up, the digestive system goes to sleep, and the body begins the healing process. And also the human growth hormone, HGH, increases, and glucagon is released to balance blood sugars. So that may be a way that you want to go. So while we're detoxing, of course, we're going to want to mitigate any exposure to these toxins. Try to cut them out of your daily life. Start looking into things that you can replace these items with that are much healthier for us. There is an app that you can download on your phone. There's actually a couple that I know of that can help give you an idea of whether food is good for you. It's called Yuka, Yuka. There's also another one called Bobby Approved. I found that with the Yuka app, there was a time there where there were things that were not listed correctly, so I don't know how trusting that app is anymore. I haven't used it in quite some time, but that may be a way for you to go. Also, the Bobby Approved app. For the cleaning products, I'm not familiar with any app that will help you to know what's good for you and what's not, but you're going to want to look for things that are much healthier, much more holistic, and not get the ones that have chemicals in them, synthetic chemicals in them. I also challenge you while you're going through a detox, and even right now if you like, to also detox your mind by cutting out those things like social media and the news and television. Those things are designed to help program our brain and feed us information that those want us to know to fit their narrative. So cutting those things out and not giving your attention to those things can benefit you greatly in raising your vibration and detoxing your mind. So thank you again so much for joining me today. I hope you got some useful information about this for your detox journey. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.